On this video we're taking a look at our NCAAB parlay for the games which are happening on Saturday, December 18, 2021. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Our first parlay pick is Wake Forest vs North Carolina State, Wake Forest -2.5. Wake Forest has been playing strong basketball of late, and even though they'll be going on the road in this one, will be loving their advantages against North Carolina State. For one, they have no injuries to worry about coming into this one. Additionally, North Carolina State is one of the worst defensive teams in the country, and Wake Forest comes in one of the best and most potent defensive groups. That matchup is far from ideal, as the Demon Deacons should be able to push the envelope and strictly outscore the Wolfpack. Wake Forest will also like their ability to at least make North Carolina State work for everything on offense, and that energy will carry over into struggling in transition. The Demon Deacons continue to impress this season. They are 9-4 Sioux and Austrian Shillings in conference play and have won 8 of their last 10 games. They have been especially strong defensively over that 10-game span, holding 5 of their recent opponents to 65 points or less. In ACC play, Wake Forest holds opponents to 70.1 ppg on 39.6% shooting, behind the second most efficient defense in the conference. Their main task on Wednesday night will be slowing down the pick-and-roll action of North Carolina State, who is the most pick-and-roll reliant team in the country. Per synergy, Wake Forest ranks in the 91st percentile defending pick-and-roll ball handlers, allowing opponents to score just 0.61 ppp in these situations. They have the size on the wings in Isaiah Musius and Jake Laravia to defend the Wolfpack's Darian Sebron, which could pose problems for the North Carolina State offense, considering he is their leading scorer with 18 ppg. On the other end of the floor, North Carolina State ranks last in the ACC in defensive efficiency and opposing effective FG percent. Per synergy, their defense ranks in the 8th percentile, so they figure to have their hands full with Wake Forest, who can score from anywhere on the floor. The Demon Deacons' half-court defense ranks in the 85th percentile, synergy, and they are lead in transition, ranking in the top 25 in transition effective FG percent, hoop math. Our second parlay pick, Alabama vs Ole Miss, Alabama -5. Alabama comes into this contest as 5-point road favorites. With the Crimson Tide tied fresh off of back-to-back losses, it's hard not to like their chances in this game. Alabama should have a major advantage on the offensive end in this game. Alabama should get a boost from inside the arc versus a subpar Rebels defense, and it also ranks as the SEC's top offensive rebounding team. Alabama has lost their last 3 SEC games, and each game was embarrassing in its own way. Prior to defeating Baylor 2 weeks ago, the Crimson Tide lost a head-scratcher on the road against Georgia, and their last 2 games have been decisive losses to Auburn and more recently Kentucky. In the loss to the Wildcats, the Crimson Tide shot 3-30 from 3-point range and finished with a season-low 55 points, which is a far cry from the 80 points the Tide average per game. Look for Jaden Shackelford to get the Crimson Tide back on track, as he ranks 4th in the SEC with 17 points per game. Nate Oates has guided the Crimson Tide to a 14-9 overall record, and they come in ranked number 19 in the latest KenPom rankings. Alabama has posted an adjusted 115.6 offensive rating, 16th in the NCAA, but that number has dropped sharply to just 103.6 versus league opponents, 4th in the SEC. The Crimson Tide have shot just 26.5% from 3-point range during conference play, 14th in the SEC, but they have survived by sporting the best defensive rebounding rate in the conference. In fact, Alabama has hauled in an impressive 36.0% of its missed field goal attempts on the offensive glass, 1st in the SEC. The Rebels enter this game coming off of a loss on the road against Florida. The loss was a microcosm of the Ole Miss season, long scoring droughts allowing their opponents back into games or allowing their opponents to pull away late. The Rebels average only 67.3 points per game, which is the second lowest among SEC teams, but they will look to exploit the 316th ranked scoring defense of the Crimson Tide. Matthew Morrell will try and spark the Rebels' offense and improve upon his 10.6 points per game average. Alabama was unable to keep up with SEC rival Kentucky on Saturday, falling short 66-55 at the Coleman Coliseum. Charles Bediako finished with 12 points and 8 rebounds for the Crimson Tide, who trailed by as many as 17 points on the night. I am going to take Alabama on the road in this game. The Crimson Tide's last game against Kentucky was rock bottom for this team, and while the Rebels are a stout defensive team, I expect a much better offensive performance from the Crimson Tide. Alabama is 4-0 Austrian shillings in the last 4 meetings. Make it 5 in a row. Roll Tide. Our third parlay pick is Texas Tech vs Oklahoma, Texas Tech -3. Not only has Texas Tech been among the stingiest defensive teams in the country, but it has also managed to find ways to generate consistent offense during Big 12 play. Mark Adams' squad comes into the weekend ranked number 10 in the latest KenPom rankings and number 9 in the current AP Top 25 polls. The Red Raiders have scored 110.5 points per 100 possessions for the season, 52nd in the NCAA. However, that mark has dropped to just 100.6 versus league opponents, 4th in the Big 12. One of the main reasons for that has been the Red Raiders' poor three-point shooting. They've knocked down just 27.3% of their total attempts from deep, 10th in the conference. The Red Raiders rank first in the conference in free throw rate, and they also do a good job at taking care of the basketball, ranking 2nd in the league in offensive turnover rate. They should also get a boost here versus a Sooners team that has gotten torched from beyond the arc during conference play. Oklahoma limps into this game against Texas Tech having lost 8 of its last 10 games. The Sooners are 3-7 in conference play and have scored more than 70 points just once since their win at home against Iowa State on January 8. Their lack of offense is going to be an issue for them against the Red Raiders, who are the second most efficient defense in the country, per KenPom. In conference play, Texas Tech ranks first in defensive efficiency and effective FG%, and the only conference opponent to whom they have surrendered more than 65 points is Kansas, twice. The key to beating Texas Tech is being able to take care of the ball and make perimeter shots with consistency, as their no-middle defense takes away everything in the paint while yielding a high rate of opposing three-pointers. Unfortunately for the Sooners, they commit turnovers on 23.5% of possessions in conference play and are not much of a perimeter shooting team, 28.3% 3PT in conference. Instead, they are one of the most rim-reliant offenses in the country, ranking 33rd in percentage of shots at the rim, hoop math. Like Oklahoma, Texas Tech also shoots a high percentage of shots at the rim. However, the Sooners do not have much rim protection, as they have the worst block rate in the Big 12, 346th nationally. Further, they rank 8th in the conference, out of 10 teams, in defensive efficiency, and 9th in opposing effective FG%, so they struggle to defend all areas of the floor against Big 12 opponents. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.